Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. Here's the article I wrote for Easter in March of 2008. I got a letter from God yesterday. I really did. Now, I have to admit that I've preached sermons before that I presented as a letter from the devil that had somehow mysteriously found its way into my hands. We learned about strengthening our faith by experiencing how our faith might be attacked. But of course, that didn't really happen. It was just a literary device or hook I was using to engage you in the sermon. One time, I even followed a letter from the devil sermon with a sermon presenting a letter from God that had also found its way to me. The truth is, I haven't done that nearly as often as a letter from the devil. The letter from God was much, much harder to write. Every sentence had to say something vital and important, and every sentence had to be completely right and true on the highest levels. I can write for the devil a whole lot easier. You also need to know that on the Sunday right after Valentine's Day, I took a box of Dora the Explorer Valentines up front to use for the children's sermon. My point with them that day was that we give Valentines to our friends and sweethearts to tell them that we love them and that they are special to us. And then I asked them if God had sent us a Valentine, and of course the answer was that God had sent us Jesus, the best Valentine of all. In Jesus, God tells us that He loves us. In Jesus, God assures us that we are special to Him. In Jesus, God says, "Be mine." And so on Thursday this week, as I leafed through the mail, there was the usual assortment of church mail, catalogs, newsletters, mail advertising church products, a couple of things from the Synod office. But one thing that always catches my eye is something that looks not so businesslike, something that appears like a personal letter. I will always look at those and open those first. And on Thursday, there was one letter like that. I looked at the return address to see whom it was from, and, well, the return address said, "I am one narrow pathway, City of Gold, Heaven." I stared at it, wondering if the letter was from some crackpot or not. But there it was, plain as day, a letter from God. You don't see that every day. I went to my desk and picked up my letter opener and carefully slit the edge. There was no letter there until I looked deeper, and there, inside that envelope, was a Valentine. It was a Bob the Builder Valentine, and it said, "We work great together. Love, God." And right away I thought about Easter. Because that children's sermon is right. Jesus is God's greatest expression of love for us. The victory of Easter speaks of God's unfathomable grace. Smiling to myself, I looked at the envelope and noticed two more things. The stamp was a picture of the Liberty Bell, a symbol of freedom ringing out to the world. And it was a forever stamp. And that's what Easter is about too. In the love of God, we are made free and freed forever. The other thing on the envelope was that it wasn't addressed just to me. It also said Redeemer Lutheran Church in the address. The letter was meant for you. Easter was meant for you. I got a letter from God yesterday. Really. It was a letter of love. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.